That was the third movement of Ravel's Ma Mère Loire, and it was played by Alessio Bax and Lucille Chung. I'm Erica Worth, and welcome to this Pianist Podcast. Today I will be chatting with the Italian-born pianist Alessio Bax about his passion for chamber music, his exciting life in New York City, and much more. Alessio, it's great to have you on the Pianist Podcast today.
Thank you, Erica.
Very welcome. I'd like to kick off by asking you about the inaugural London Festival of Chamber Music, which takes place at the end of March at Smith Square Hall in London, and of which you are artistic director. How did this come about?
Well, as you know, I've been interested in organizing festivals as a way to really get friends and musicians together. And there are many reasons for this. I mean, as I get older, of course, I still love playing concerti every week, and I still do. But I really cherish these opportunities of collaborating with great musicians that happen to be great people and great friends. First of all, it's so much fun. And I think at this stage in my life, it's where I learn the most. Sharing the stage with amazing musicians, especially playing different instruments and different repertoire, being challenged every year with new repertoire in different type of conditions. I mean, it's something that I think has been enlightening to me in the last years.
That's
So
very, very interesting. Yeah, because I mean, you obviously love chamber music. Has it become the focus of your playing or?
I'm still doing mostly concerti, almost. I mean, this year almost every week. So this is a labor of love in a way. And normally, chamber music is reserved for the summer. There are a few summer festivals. The one I've been directing in Italy for 10 years now. It'll be my last year in Italy as artistic director. And then James Hennes Festival in Seattle, for example, and there are a few others, but very few. And during the year, the occasional tour with long-time collaborators. And other than that, there's not much chamber music. And of course, playing two pianos with my wife, Lucille Chung.
Of course.
But this opportunity came about because I've known, it's now called Sinfonia Smith Square, and they took over what was formerly called, I have to keep this straight, there's so many name changes, St. John Smith Square, and now Smith Square Hall. And Sinfonia Smith Square, the orchestra itself, the organization, used to be the South Bank Sinfonia, with whom I first collaborated 22 years ago. So after winning the Leeds Competition, I had the opportunity to play with them. I also played with them with their patron Vladimir Ashkenazy conducting me in Rachmaninoff, which was a dream. We've made a couple of recordings together, but it's an organization that's just run so well. And over the years, it's grown in such beautiful ways. They have a great team of doers and problem solvers, as it were. And once they got a hold of St. John Smith Square, they had to fill it, in different ways. And I thought, this space is so special. First of all, the history of it is incredible, as you know. The facility itself, I mean, it's a medium-sized hall. That sounds fantastic. It's incredibly flexible. You can have concerts on stage. You can have concerts on the floor, lengthwise or in its width. And it always sounds good. It's not too small. It's not too big. So you can have orchestra. They have a resonant orchestra, obviously. Sinfonia Smith Square. And I thought, London is so many great concerts, so much actually, as you know, great chamber music, but not really a real festival. Where people get together, they work specific repertoire, maybe things that I've never done before, in the hall where they're going to play it, and they spend time together, eat meals together. And I thought it was an opportunity to create something really special, given the flexibility of the space and of the organization as well.
How long have you been preparing for this? How long?
It's been a couple of years, really. but we have an opportunity, which is very rare nowadays for many reasons, to mix chamber music with orchestral pieces, with concerti, and I've been blessed to know really wonderful instrumentalists that also are great conductors. So the orchestra and the audience will see them in different with different hats on. They'll play chamber music, then they'll lead the orchestra, they'll coach the orchestral players in chamber music. The bursaries, they're actually bursaries in the orchestra. They stay there for a year, and then they go on to different professional jobs. Have access to all the musicians all the time, which it will be very, very fun, I think, for everyone involved.
That's fantastic. So it takes place over a weekend, does it? I mean, I see 25 to 29 of March.
It's a very busy, we have 7 events between the 25th and 29th. So there are evening concerts, there's late night concerts, lunchtime concerts as well, and there's a chamber music session of coaching with all the musicians together pitching in. So there's a lot going on.
Oh, it sounds absolutely fantastic. Anything utterly unique that you'd like to tell me about during that weekend? I mean, you said
there's a lot.
You said there was coaching, which I really liked,
Yes, and also to have these amazing musicians all together. Everyone will have a different outlook, and the fact that we have an orchestra available, which is really vibrant, young, and great, and so the type of repertoire we can do is incredible. We'll have the programs are mixed with concerti, symphonies, and chamber music. That's something that no other place can do for whatever reason, Then the late night concerts will have very adventurous programs as well. There's a folk element to it with the wonderful French Cypriot singer Sarah Aristidou, who will sing from anywhere from Cypriot folk songs through Ravel, Kurt Weill, and Ligeti with orchestra. There's really I think there's, I felt really like a kid in a candy store,
Yes, that's amazing. I mean, what's great about you, I've noticed, you play all types of repertoire. As you say, you've played, you do the rack 2, the rack 3, and then you like to really branch out and discover new repertoire. Is that something important to you, to always discover?
I mean, we're so lucky as pianists to have so much great repertoire. There's still things I haven't done, and I have less and less time. But I'm there's some type of pianist that love to do 1-2 concerti a year. I like to keep it more varied, maybe to a fault. I mean, this year between January and May, I calculated 11 different concerti, which I think it's a bit a bit much. But it's hard to pass opportunities that are they have something you can learn from, I find. I just
juggle 11 concerti. How do you juggle that?
One at a time.
Sorry?
One at a time. I'm through 4 now, so I still have a few more to go. But
oh my goodness. Well, they're obviously all pieces that you've played many, many times, but you still have to brush them up to whatever again, don't you?
Yeah. Some are, but it's still, being on stage to me, and it's not getting any easier. I mean, it still feels like a life or death situation, where you give it all. And you never know what's going to happen. So you can prepare as much as you want and then still not know what's going to happen. But you learn from these experiences, and sometimes, you don't want it to feel so comfortable that it's not special anymore. So there's a fine line. It's very exciting. There has not been, my teacher used to say this all the time, and it's so true. There's never been one concert where at one point, it could be when you first hear about the concert, could be as you're preparing, could be the day of the concert, hopefully not during the concert, where there hasn't been a moment of panic. It's like, oh my God, I have to play rack 3. Sometimes I wake up from a nap and it's like, oh, what's tonight? And I have this few seconds where okay, we rehearsed it this morning. It's fine.
Oh my goodness, isn't that funny? Because people always think you get nervous just before you walk on the stage or during a performance, but you're just saying you wait.
I mean, during the performance is the worst time to get nervous, obviously. And that doesn't, thankfully, if you prepare well enough, doesn't happen too often. But right before going on stage, or the morning, or sometimes there, before a huge, I remember a few years ago I was touring with Hammerklavier sonata, and I had this feeling every morning I had to play that this is going to be a different day. You wake up in the morning with, and it's not nervousness, it's just a responsibility that you feel, like a heaviness that you feel like, oh wow, I have to go through Hammerklavier today, let's see. And then once you start, it's a beautiful journey.
Oh
And
my
hopefully
goodness.
you get people on board.
I mean,
But
what's really, yeah. No,
yeah,
what's really interesting when you're playing a piece like that, you've got to be so immersed in it, haven't you? But then again, you've got to almost be above it. Um,
right. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the goal. I mean, the best experiences I've ever had is when you're at the piano and you feel like you're in control of what you're doing, yet you're basically like a conductor, and you're observing this, you're hearing the sound in the space, not at the piano, and but that's a very, very hard thing to achieve. And you need also a lot of experience, and the more people you have on stage, the more problematic that is, because everybody has to be in tune. So that's why I think chamber music is so important, because you learn to be flexible. I mean, very often, whether it's a collaboration, a concerto, or chamber music, I think of them as basically the same experience. And I mean, the way to get there are a bit different. If you're playing Rec 3, you need, different type of sound and so on. But at the end, it's all the same. And often people think of a collaboration as finding middle ground or something in common. And I don't think of it that way. I think the best chamber music, I bring everything I have to bring. My colleagues do the same, and the results should be better than any of us by ourselves. That's the idea. Also with orchestra, if you have to compromise, then it's not so much fun anymore.
That's interesting. Don't you feel more, I don't know what to say, nervous, lonely when you're playing a recital? Isn't there more of a burden on you when there's just yourself on the stage?
Yes and no. I mean, recital is still, I think, to this day, is one of the hardest experiences for pianists, because it's a large program by yourself. If you're a violinist, it's already chamber music, no, unless you're playing solo Bach, and that's
Yes.
probably, you ask any violinist, that's the most terrifying thing to do. But we have to do that quite often as pianists, and there's this added pressure of having to play a recital by memory as well. So it is somewhat terrifying, yet you're in control of the journey, 100%. You take all the glory and you take all the blame. So,
Yes, I mean, goodness.
but it's something I have to say. I mean, unfortunately, especially my career brings me in different places, and I come to Europe every couple of months or so, but it's mostly in the US now. And that's something that's unfortunately is disappearing. There are very few recital series, and I mean, when I was younger, I was mostly playing recitals and having, before the Leeds competition especially, and having some orchestral experience, dreaming, one day I would play with orchestras all the time. And now that's mostly what I'm doing, only orchestras, and recitals are disappearing, and it's very, very tricky. Because
And
I've been,
that's in America, or you feel all over the world in
I
general?
think all over the world. In America is more obvious, because there were never that
Yes.
many recital series. I mean, you can count them now on one hand, good recital series. And if you appear there 1 year, you're not going to go back for a few years. So, and there's so many wonderful pianists, young pianists, and up and coming that should be playing as well. So,
Goodness, yes, you're right. Now you were born in Bari, in
mhm.
Puglia, the Puglia region of Italy. Not an obvious. I mean, you took your first lessons there in Bari. You had a
Oh
teacher.
yeah, I mean, I was
Teacher.
very lucky that, I mean, there's a very good conservatory, quite
Yes.
large, and especially for piano. There are many great pianists that came from Bari or from there. The detached, the monopoly was like next door town, but it's part of the same conservatory, like Benedetto Lupo, Beatrice Rana,
Oh
and it's all that going back to the Neapolitan school of Vincenzo Vitale and all that, and the children and grandchildren, musical grandchildren. Nino Rota was the director of the conservatory
Yes.
before my time, and godfather to everyone that went through that conservatory. So there was a very good tradition, and I always had very good teachers, I
Yeah.
have to say. So that then I think the Southern Italy in general and the city of Bari, I had a few years when I was growing up that didn't do so well. The theater, beautiful Petrocelli theater, burned down and was not rebuilt for 20 years.
Oh,
And now there's a renaissance of in the arts and music. The Berlin Philharmonic played their Europa concert, their biggest concert of the year in Bari last year. So it's a dream come true,
is it a
So
lovely theatre? Is it a lovely
it
theatre?
is. It's beautiful, beautiful opera theater, of course. I
Mm.
mean, next to San Carlo in Napoli, probably, the best in the south.
Interesting. And so after that, where did you go and study? Or yes, I mean, when did you
Um,
move away from Bari?
well, I finished the conservatory quite young. I was 14
Okay.
instead of, the regular age was 20. And it's my parents that realized there was much more outside Bari. I always, since the age of 8, I've been going to master classes, first with Paul Badura Skoda for many years, and then Joaquina Chucaro. And then eventually I decided to come to America to study with Joaquina Chucaro, who's been a great mentor of mine.
It's wonderful.
He's 93, still practicing 5-6 hours a day and
Oh, he's
playing.
amazing. Yeah.
I just saw him last month in Bilbao when I was playing there, and he gave me a 2-hour lesson, which was really fantastic. And so yeah, that's so I moved. I've been in the States ever since.
That's great that you're telling me you're still having a lesson.
Oh
That's
yeah,
wonderful.
yeah. It's been a while. It was just as demanding as ever.
That is
Yeah.
fantastic. That is fantastic. So, and then of course you won the Leeds, didn't you, in
Mhm.
2000? So how old were you then? I'm trying, in your
I was
20s.
22. Yeah.
Oh, so young. And you won the
I mean,
Leeds.
nowadays he's not that young anymore, but back
Understand,
then it was.
yes.
Back then it was. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
considered
you're right. You're right.
pretty
And
young.
you'd won the Hamamatsu 3 years earlier.
Yeah.
Is this what, are these competition wins what look, did they launch your career really?
Absolutely. I mean, I think I absolutely have to say that, like, nobody knew my name before that. Although, I have to say, back in those years, late 90s and in 2000, competitions, as you may remember, were not seen. Were seen with a little bit of a suspicious attitude. There were this thing like competition winners, which was not necessarily seen as a good thing, and you had to prove yourself in the real world. I'm glad that in the old days, in the days of Radu Lupo, Marie Peraya, they both won the Leeds. It was you absolutely started a career unless you
Yeah.
messed it up
Yes.
by yourself. And then now I think they it's a very positive thing. Everyone is looking for the next winner of Van Cliburn
Mm.
or a Chopin competition, especially. And there's a focus on youth. But I think I was really in the years where okay, there's a competition winner. How good is this person really? And which, in a way, was very healthy way to start
Yes.
because uh, I kind of started a little slower. I didn't have 100 concerts on my first year after winning the Leeds,
Mm.
and then I had a chance to focus at the same time more on chamber music as well, especially after moving to New York and grow kind of organically. Um, Yet people knew that I had won this competition, so there was a level of trust that at least
Yes.
I would have had the chops or the musicianship to
Yeah.
be on stage.
Who was the conductor at the time? Was it Simon Rattle?
Was Simon Rattle was his last year, and
Oh,
my dream getting into the Leeds. Well, before in the Hamamatsu, my dream was to play the Brahms first concerto with a what I would call a proper orchestra, and I did. They ended up winning, and in Leeds, my dream was to play with Sir Simon and CBSO,
amazing.
and
And did you play the
uh,
Brahms again there?
I played the Brahms, yeah, and it was really. I mean, we had, I think, a 30-minute rehearsal for a 45-minute concerto.
Is this number one or two? Number one or two?
Number one. And there were 3 very different Brahms first concerti in the finals out of 60.
No! There were 3 Brahms ones in the finals. That's fantastic.
It was really a dream.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. And now you're in New York. How come you've chosen to live in New York?
Well, I was, as I said, I'd been in the States for a long time studying. And, I lived in Dallas, that's where Joaquina Chúcaro taught, and in Bari before that. I was coming to New York very often for concerts and rehearsals, but I'd never lived in a big music center. So I thought it was about time to do that, and it did change my life. And I think it was very important to come to New York at that time, just to be in the middle of things and know people and play very high level chamber music, and it was a very, very good decision.
When did you move to New York? How many years ago?
About 15 years.
So it changed your life because you were so much surrounded by the best and so much.
In a way, yes. And kind of, I think at some point in your life, you have to live in a major music center. When you have touring orchestra coming in, and you can hear great concerts, you can spend time with people like that. I mean, to this day, if I'm home and we have friends visiting, playing Carnegie Hall or New York Philharmonic or whatever, I would organize dinners at home and just be with people. I think it's very important to cultivate these friendships with people that you like and admire.
Absolutely. I presume you live on the Upper West Side?
Upper East now. And we have a daughter that's 11 years old, and she goes to school here, so just makes things a little bit easier.
And because I always think of the Upper West Side as being like the artisty area where.
I mean, right now, honestly, I love New York. There's so much to offer, especially to a child. Actually, she sings in the children's chorus at the Met Opera. There's about 35 performances every year, and it's a very rigorous program. But it's at the highest possible level. I mean, and that's because we live here. So that's just one example how many things the city can offer. I don't know. And now I think it's very exciting. I don't know nowadays how important for me it is, to live in New York, because as opposed to much more livable place, but so I don't know where we'll end up eventually, but for now, this is home.
Yeah, it's a great city. I mean, honestly, for what you're doing, it really is. And your wife, of course, is Lucille Chung. She's a wonderful pianist, and you've even made recordings with her, haven't you? And you performed with her. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So next week we'll be in Florida with Jacksonville Symphony, and we're playing 3 concerti in the same program 3 times. So it will be our show. It will be fun.
Oh my goodness! So you'll play one.
We're doing the Mozart double, the Poulenc concerto, and Saint-Saëns Carnival of the Animals on the same program.
That is fantastic.
It'll be a big party, 3 days in a row, so that'll be fun.
Oh my goodness, I think it's great. And did you ever kind of like fall out about ideas or,
No, arguments? I mean, this is really like, we've been playing together for such a long time. We don't even need to speak in rehearsals, we just get together. If we have to learn new repertoire, of course, they take time and learn it, but otherwise, it's something that just somehow happens. I do so much German music with so many people, and I think it's great. But when it comes to 2 pianos or piano 4 hands, it's a very different beast altogether. The result has to be the same, but when you're sharing the same instrument, it's much more complicated. It's not, I mean, it rarely works, no matter how great the talents are, that you get 2 people randomly together and on 2 pianos or 1 piano 4 hands, and it works. It's very difficult.
That is very interesting. My goodness. I'm sure listeners would love to know how you met Lucille.
We met at the Hamamatsu competition, 97. But it was very complicated. We just met as friends for many years, but she was about to move to Italy, and I was already in America. It's so funny. So it took a few years to get together after that, but that's when we first met. And because she was studying in Imola at the Piano Academy, we had many friends in common, Italian friends in common, so they introduced us.
That's amazing. You had the whole Italy thing in common.
Mhm.
Did you always know you wanted to be a pianist? I mean, obviously you were great
Um,
from a very young age.
Yeah, I mean, I started at 7, so I wasn't that
No,
young because my
no.
parents were not musicians. It was not the thing to do. But as a Southern Italian boy, of course, I wanted to be a soccer star first, like everybody else. But very quickly I saw that the neighborhood kids were so much better than me. I mean, it was no, I love the idea of soccer, but football, but it wasn't not there
No.
was not much talent, you know. So the next thing was music, just because I got as a Christmas gift a little keyboard, and I loved it. I remember getting it first, and as I was growing older, the keyboard grew bigger. Eventually, it became a piano, and
Ah,
I, my mindset never changed. There was never a moment where I thought, should I really be doing this? You know?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And what piano do you play on in what piano do you have at home right now?
We have a Steinway B
Yeah.
and a Yamaha as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're both do you both practice? Do you have like enough room so that you can both practice at the same time?
We could. It doesn't happen often, honestly. Unfortunately, that's one difficult, challenging side of this profession. I'm rarely home, so I have to rely on practice on the road and a lot of scheduling and organization. I mean, you have to be absolutely professionally organized in this venture, you know. But at home, I mean, it doesn't really happen
No.
that often that we're both
Practice.
practicing all day. Yeah.
Do you ever get problems with the neighbors?
Thankfully not.
You're
We've been
very
very lucky,
lucky.
but I think it's because we're gone so much. They can
Oh,
really. But most of them, they when we meet them in the elevator, we try not to be too friendly just in case. And when they're, are you the one playing the piano? And it's like, yeah, yes. Why? It's like, oh, it sounds so beautiful. Usually we get that, so that's nice.
oh, that's wonderful. They don't say
We're
you're
very
playing
lucky.
that C major scale again and again and again. You know, the same passage again and again.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't want me as a neighbor, that's for sure.
Oh, I get it. I get it. And you have a really good partnership with Signum record label as well.
Yes, that have been amazing. I mean, my debut recording was for Warner Classics it's ages ago, it's 2004, I think.
Yes.
And the production team was called Floating Earth.
Yes.
Uh, that was run by Steve Long, and it was incredible. The Mike Hatch was engineer, and Steve's, and Anna Barry became my producer for every single recording, and then I found out after I think the Warner Classic of that time kind of collapsed, and
Mm,
then was rebuilt later. That Steve owned a label, Signum.
mm,
Same production team, same quality, and
mm,
so I pitched a Bach transcription CD,
mm.
and then I mean, I think we probably have 11, 12 recordings now together.
Yeah,
Everything I pitched, they said yes, he made it happen. It's really incredible.
that's wonderful.
And every single recording, I think they just outdo themselves in terms of quality, sound, beauty, and it's such a joy
That's
to do
wonderful.
any projects. I mean, one time I think it was a Russian album with pictures on exhibition and some scriabin. He told me, it's like, we just released the pictures. Can we wait a few months? But
Oh,
other than that, we always said yes to every project. And there's one now coming out on May 1st.
oh yes.
That's the complete Beethoven cello sonatas with Paul Watkins, was one of my really favorite collaborators and friends, and something I'm really proud of because it's a complete set, and the cello sonatas also, it is perfect vehicle to show Beethoven's from in every stage of his life, and
Okay.
it was a project that really has so much love in it. So I love this music so much.
Oh, great. Look forward to listening to that. As we're getting towards the end of our discussions, I thought I'd pose some light-hearted questions to you and see
Sure.
see
Yeah,
how you
fine.
answer them. So let's go a bit casual. I'm sure you'll enjoy answering. So let's see. The first one. If you could play only one composer from now on, who would it be?
That would be sad for me. Probably, I would say Beethoven. For what I just said, there's so the range is so huge. I mean,
Yes.
Bach, I could spend a lifetime on one prelude and fugue, and still not get it. But Beethoven, it would be just so fulfilling because there's so much in it. I mean, I could say Schubert because there's so much beauty and emotions, but Beethoven has it all somehow.
I think so.
Going from early Beethoven to late, and he's written so much for piano, so it would be really great.
I know, you're right. There's no stopping. You're changing ideas on one sonata. I mean,
Every sonata it creates its own universe. It's incredible. They're not sonatas. They're like same structure, same idea, but somehow,
yeah,
and there's so much in it, really.
yeah, I agree. One pianist, dead or alive, you travel long and far to hear.
Oh, wait, if they're dead, how far are we talking?
Oh, I don't know. It could even be down the road. Somebody you would if you had to.
Yeah, I'm a Rachmaninoff, absolutely. Like I wish I could have heard him live. Apparently, by all accounts, his live concerts were 10 times better than his recordings, which are really inhuman in a way. It's incredible playing and musicianship, understanding, and ear, everything. There's everything.
Yeah. Okay. One person, dead or alive, you'd love to play for.
I'd have to say Rachmaninoff too, because also I could say Franz Liszt, but I have a feeling that a lot of what Liszt was doing, I mean, pianistically, Liszt was very natural somehow. I don't know why I think so. In composition, of course, he's a genius in so many ways and groundbreaking, much more than people realize. But Rachmaninoff, I knew that he worked very hard as well. So he would know exactly how to do things. Of course, I wouldn't have his hands, but that would be great to play for him. And I would love to be his friend though, because apparently he was quite guarded in a way.
Yes.
But with his friends, he would have this incredible generosity of spirit and warmth, which of course we get with his music.
Wonderful. Okay. Do you have any technical struggles at the piano?
Yeah, I mean, I think everything is really technique in a way, like
Yeah.
how to create a specific sound or color, and it's something that I've learned a lot with my teacher, with Joaquina Chúcaro. Many people say sound starts in the head. You have to imagine a sound, but you have to know how to do it. Just because the piano, more than other instruments, it's really like a very complicated machine. So there is a certain way of using your body to get certain results, which I think is really reliable. And over the years, you discover new things. So everything is technique, and there's nothing specific. I mean, there are things that come easier to me at this point, but I think, figuring out how the instrument works, how your body works, and not fighting against it is the most important part.
Lovely. Okay. What would your advice be to an amateur pianist on how to improve?
How to improve it? That's very good. I mean, this is not only for an amateur pianist, actually, but I think it's, again, what I was saying, not fight against your body and use it to make things easier. If a passage doesn't sound right or doesn't feel right, stop and figure out why. And try to find a way to work it, especially because I think piano music, most of it was written by composers that really understood the instrument. And even, Rachmaninoff is very difficult, but he knew better than anybody else how to play the piano. So there has to be a way to make things easier, and not fight against your own body, and not fight against against gravity, because you're going to lose. Use gravity rather than fight against it, because at the end of the day, we're pressing keys down. So very often people, and that's something natural, if you have a little bit of musicality in you and you want to create tension in music, it translates into tension in your body. And that's the one thing that's counterintuitive. You have to if you want to create tension in music, you have to be more relaxed, and that's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, very interesting. I think I know this answer, but if you weren't a pianist, what would you be?
What's your guess?
A soccer star, a
Oh
footballer.
no, no. Well, no, I don't think. I have to be realistic in my dreams. No, but also I would want to have a career that's long lived. You know, I love to cook, so I don't think I could do it professionally, because the reality of being a professional chef in a kitchen is very difficult. But cooking for friends and for small parties, that's really one of my passions. So it would have to be that.
How wonderful. How do you find the time?
Well, we've got to eat. So,
That's wonderful. And
no,
a
but
lot of
I
people.
was there are stories of I had an article years ago in the dining section of the New York Times, where they interviewed me about my passion, and that little tiny article with a tiny picture got more attention than any half-page reviews in the classical music
Oh my
section
goodness.
that I ever got.
Well, I
Um,
know you're a foodie because I remember once when I was going to New York, you gave me a list of restaurants that I
that's
should.
right.
But yeah, I know you
I
are.
get on a weekly basis. I get messages from friends touring,
Oh my
that
God.
asking me where should I go eat, in this town or in that town, and that. But now I have a very big map. In fact, I'm thinking about starting a side career, suggesting places to eat for musicians, after concerts or near concert halls and things like that.
That's a really good idea.
I just have
Brilliant.
to find the time.
Brilliant. Um, Final question. One composer you're not quite ready to tackle.
Oh wow, there are many.
Hmm.
Somehow, and it's probably because I didn't do much growing up, and it's something that you probably have to start quite young. Prokofiev. I've never played the piano concerti,
Hmm.
and a lot of people do. I can't imagine learning one now, like when you have something every single week of the year. So I hope at some point I can take some time off to delve into it. But it's a kind of pieces. There's so many notes, so demanding, that I think they're much easier to learn when you're younger. I'm so
Yes.
glad I learned the Rachmaninoffs when I was young, and this sort of
Yes.
thing, because uh,
Yeah.
I think in a way I'm much more efficient with my practice time now
Okay.
than I was as I was when I was studying. I think I
Yes.
wasted a lot of time, but I think that's part of the process.
Mm.
Yet you do need a lot of time to learn those.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I'm not quite ready just for lack of time. I love the music.
Yes. Yes, you've got to prioritize, haven't you? Okay, Alessio, I think we've come to the end of our wonderful
Oh,
discussion. I don't want
wonderful.
to keep you so long because you're so busy. You're on concerto number whatever. When's your next concerto appearance?
Well, it's in Florida now, with these three pieces with Lucille.
Oh, at the weekend.
Yeah. And
So,
then I have to check my my schedule, but there's a lot. I mean, I have both Brahms in this few months, Rachmaninoff 2 and 3, Beethoven 3. I did 5 and 3, McDowell second. I think the Falla Nights in the Garden, Spain. I mean, there's really a lot. It's all beautiful. They're like, some of them I've played a lot, some others less so, but they're all friends somehow.
fantastic. Oh, golly. Well, I hope your weekend goes well in Florida. And I look forward to coming to hear you in London at the end of
Wonderful.
March.
Yeah, 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 that's it. It'll be like a big musical feast. There's so
Fantastic.
much different music, and you know,
Yeah.
I'm so lucky, after so many years, all these great musicians kind of trust what they put
Yes.
together, and they signed up without knowing what this festival was at all, because it's the first one.
Mm,
And I'm so glad we'll be all there together.
fantastic. Well, I hope it's a great success. I'll see you there. And thank you so much for joining me on this podcast today.
Thank you. What a pleasure, Erica. Thank you.
Okay. Bye bye. That was Rachmaninoff's arrangement of the Gavotte from Bach's Violin Partita No. 3 in A major, and it was played by Alessio Bax. Pianist podcasts are free, and a really good way to support what we do is by subscribing to Pianist. Visit our website at pianistmagazine.com and listen to us on YouTube by searching Pianist Magazine. And don't forget to sign up to our newsletter, which is full of extra playing tips and useful information. Go to pianistmagazine.com to find out how to sign up.